Hello and welcome once again to the Yooper Organic Garden. I wanted to make a video of all the birds we've had this year. We've had over 20 of them, so I've been taking still shots of them, and I put a bunch of them together, and we'll go through them and I'll tell you what they are and maybe a little bit about them if we have time. So here we'll go ahead and start. This very first scene is a female cardinal. She's the only one we had. She was here for a couple weeks last fall, and then we never saw her again. I don't know what happened. We never had a male around. There's been talk of people having a male cardinal in the area, but we've never seen one. So that's kind of a treat, at least to see her. And the next one we got coming up is the woodpecker, and this is the hairy woodpecker. I mean the downy. He's quite a bit larger. We do have the hairy around here, but haven't seen him in a while. Didn't get a picture of him. These next three are snowy owls that we've had in the area. I know these ones weren't from the feeder, but they sure been fun to watch back and forth on the way to work. I've seen, I don't know how many of them this winter, but here's a chance for you to see just three of them that we've had in the area. They've been fun. They come down almost every winter. And they like to sit on the light poles and look for game. This one was where I work. It was sitting on a tree just out from the building where I was at. So let me get real close and get a picture. Very beautiful birds. Enjoy having them. Very friendly. And this eagle, I saw this eagle the same day that I saw all the snowy owls. It was in my mother's woods. And just sitting there watching, and let me get a few pictures of them. Here's another treat we've had this winter. These are pine grosbeaks. We've had dozens of them here. Started out with a few males, and then they started bringing the females, and pretty soon we have probably a dozen of each or so. So they've been a real treat. I didn't know they didn't come down very often. We haven't seen them in probably 20 years. So it's kind of nice to have them at the feeder. They're very beautiful, males and females both. Of course, the male has red, but the female is a very pretty gray color. Here we have the barred owl. Now this is only the second one I've ever seen in my lifetime. It was in our clearing one day where we live, sitting in the tree. It was there for about 8 hours, so that was a real treat to see them. Here's another picture of a woodpecker. I think this is a male, or I'm sorry, a female downy. It's hard to tell, and that's not a bird, but we do have several squirrels we're feeding. Here's 4 of them that show up regularly at the feeder, so they've been kind of fun too, and they do interrupt the birds a little bit, but we put out food for the squirrels. There's a female grosbeak. They're very beautiful, kind of a gray color with a yellowish tinted head, I guess. I've had lots of them. They're a real joy to have. And here's a picture of the male grosbeaks and the female, and some redpolls on the ground there. Oh, there's a red-winged blackbird. I didn't know they came to feeder. That was last fall that come in. Kind of a rare treat. We have them around, but we never. First time I'd ever seen them at a feeder. So that was kind of fun. This one we have the redpolls. We got lots of redpolls, dozens and dozens of them. They've been a real treat too. They have a lot of color and fun. They fly around in flocks. Fun to have around. Watching them eat. They mingle well with the other birds. We've had some really cold weather, as cold as 37 below, so really been a cold winter for these guys, so it's kind of nice to give them some feed and help them out. And there's you can see the pine grosbeak in with the redpolls there. Doesn't seem to bother them. They'll hang out together. Here's one of a chickadee. Chickadee's been very hard to get a good picture of, because they don't just sit still much. Them little things are moving all the time. So I was able to get a couple of them here. So there's what I believe is another female grosbeak, maybe, I'm not sure. Can't tell. And there's a blue jay there. We have quite a few of them. We've had up to a dozen of them here. They're kind of pigs at the feeder, but they need food too, and we're happy to feed them. There's some goldfinches. This was last fall before they turned their olive drab color, I call it, for the winter. So they're still wearing their summer plumage. So very pretty birds. We have quite a few of them too. Another woodpecker. That'd be our downy woodpecker. We have several of them around. They're lots of fun. They come to the feeder and peck around in the trees. And here's a rose-breasted grosbeak. We haven't had many of those this winter. We only had a couple. I haven't seen them now for a couple months, but they're fun. They add color. Different birds. We enjoy them. It's another shot of a chickadee, and finally caught one sitting still just for a second. So not a bad picture of them. You can see them there. And at the top of the picture, there's another good one of a blue jay sitting still. So we've enjoyed them. The next one coming up is a fairly rare one too. This is an indigo bunting. I haven't seen one of these in quite a few years either, and have it show up at the feeder was a real treat. I happened to have my camera ready when I was able to get a picture of it. Sure enjoyed the color of them. Here's another very rare one. We have them around, but very rarely come into our clearing where we live. This pileated woodpecker. Very beautiful birds, big. You can hear them thumping on the trees all around us most days, so that's really been fun. And next one we got is oh, these are hairy woodpeckers. I got them wrong because the downy's smaller. These are hairy woodpeckers. I wasn't able to get any of the downies. Ruffed grouse. She comes in. Oh, she'll come in 3-4 nights a week. Sometimes it'll be a couple weeks won't see her, but she comes in usually just before dark and eats. Here's another one of a chickadee. We have dozens of them around here too. They're a lot of fun. Yeah, here's another one of the hairy woodpecker. So, like I said, we have a few of them around too, and they come in, hop around the trees, come into the feeder, eat a little bit. And here's another ruffed grouse that we have. This one was actually taken up by Tequamanon Falls. She had a brood of young with her. I wasn't able to get a picture of the young ones, but it was real fun to get a picture of her being the protector of her little brood. So there's a little some of the bird life that we have here in the near the Yooper Organic Garden where we're at, and we just enjoy the birds. We feed them. We've been going through right now with the cold temperatures 3 pounds of seed a day, but it's worth it just to have the fun, color, and activity in our yard all winter long. So once again, thank you for watching. Appreciate your support and all you do for us, and we'll see you here next time in the Yooper Organic Garden.